Let's see. Let's hope. Let's see. We can only hope. Let's hope. Oh. Right, I think we're all clear. I think you can see some reds there. How we doing, ladies, gents and teddy bears? I thought we were going to have a 0 day today, but it's clearing up nicely. Welcome to the Ted Coningsby channel. It's going to, of course, be a very short stream. My name's Nikos, I'm your cameraman, historian and commentator, and we're here to follow the Red Arrows through their winter training and their work up to 2026 display season. That's right, the Red Arrows don't get a break really. They get a couple of weeks break just after the display season, but it's all train, 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 and that's the way it is to be the best, a good pilot, and especially of one that carries the motto Éclate, which means excellence. Then you've got to be providing that extra skill, the trust to your leader, Red 1. That's right, the Reds, like a lot of aerobatics teams, if you've been following Thunderbirds with their feature documentary on Netflix, I think it is, then you'll know there's a lot of trust involved. The pilots literally just follow the movements of Red 1, nothing else. And of course the instructions are done by ear from Red 1, who leads the way. And again, for another season, it's Squadron Leader John Bond, known as Bondy, who takes the lead again for Red 1. Welcome. It's a non-stop training and display to wow the crowd since 1964. The Red Arrows, when they were formed, still going strong. And welcome to their home, RAF Waddington. Of course, Lincolnshire, a beautiful home for them. Welcome to the Ted Coningsby channel. Oh yeah. And of course, keeping the tradition going, December is here, so Ted and I will be wearing our Santa hats. Off he goes. Both Ted and I welcome you to the Wave car park. Bless them. A round of applause to the crew at the Wave. Emma, John, thank you very much for providing this wonderful area to view the aircraft safely. How we doing? Oh yeah, look at this. Yep, Ted and I are fully festive now. We're in the spirit of things, and I hope you're all good, and thank you for joining us. You alright, man? Oh yeah! Hey, hey. So hopefully the Reds will be going up. The canopies are up as well, which is really nice to see. Like I said, it will be a short stream today. Well, we started late, unfortunately, due to the fog. The fog is just about cleared. There's a really peculiar yellow thing in the sky with a little bit of warmth, but hey, that's it. Oh, thank you very much for tuning in again on this wonderful adventure for Ted and I hope you enjoy the last few remaining streams of the year, you know, and what a 2025 it's been. It really has, and emphasis on our fans and our members. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel like you've done. It really means a lot. We've got people from all over the world really following Ted, and we got Germany in the house. There we go. We got we got Netherlands in the house, and there we go. And we got Lincolnshire as well in the house there. Local. We got a local here. We got a local. But thank you all so much. Welcome. So we'll see. I mean, I don't even know if they are going to go up. I mean, the canopies were up. We shall see. So, welcome to the show, Dieter, Doctor, Margot Baxter, Davey, Edward Coates, Alex Raven, not Captain Weber, Williams, Simon Watt, Sean, Margot, and Joao Guerra, how you doing as well? Leah, Sue W, Ross, Karen Perkins, lots of you tuned in. AD Causa, how you doing? Hope you're good. Bama fan, thank you very much. Christine Barnes as well. A big shout out to all of you who are tuned in. Welcome to the show and welcome to RAF Waddington. Let's hope we'll get some Red Arrows movement. It's not guaranteed. Like I said, I was getting a little bit excited there when the canopies went up. Maybe they just opened them and closed them so it wasn't too cold in there. It is a little bit nippy out here, I'll tell you that. But other than that, it's all good. So my next challenge for your next show is tomorrow. Now tomorrow does not look good at all, so bear with me. Literally, there's always a bear with me here. Martin Hamlin, how you doing as well? Alex Raven, Margot, for the great TED party, it was amazing. Yeah, someone's not having a good day. Big shout out to the emergency services. So welcome to RAF Waddington, home of the Red Arrows. Of course it is home to the ISTAR force, the Intelligence, Surveillance, Target Acquisition and Reconnaissance, and the ISR wing. And it's also home to the display wing as well. It's the HQ for all our Royal Air Force displays here at Waddington. It really is. So that'll be, so you've got the BBMF, the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight, the HQ for the Royal Air Force Typhoon display team, of course the Royal Air Force Aerobatics team, which is indeed the Red Arrows, also the RAF Falcons as well, and that's I think that's everyone. So the display wing, which is established in 2023 as part of the Combat Air Force and the #1 group. Its whole mission is to generate, command and control the RAF display assets and enable a safe and compliant delivery of display activity for the Royal Air Force and their teams. So it's a wonderful thing as well. And the display HQ Hawk T1 camo and the Red Arrows elements based here at Waddington. And like I said, along with the RAF Typhoon display team BDMF, the Falcons as well. It's home to the Reaper NQ9A, the Shadow R1, the Protector, the Rivet Joint and Hawk T1 as well. Good question. Chinook display team and the wonderful shooter display team. Now they're not mentioned on that. Is it just an example? I wonder if it's because they're not falling under #1 group, which is why. So yes, I think it's under #1 group. I was having a look, and that's a very good point. You've got the Chinook display team and the shooter display team, and I'm wondering if it's because they're not under #1 group. Very good question. We'll have to find out. Well spotted though, because I did think, oh yeah, forgot about them, but then they weren't listed, so that could be why. Afternoon, Alan Q, Belly Bobcat, Margot, LEJ Approach, who's here, live and live. So whether we'll get a sortie or not, that's another matter, but it's looking beautiful, and this is what I was expecting to have. So the aircraft that you're seeing on the screens has been used by the Red Arrows since 1979. Their first display was in 1980 with it, but before then, 1964, when they formed at Little Rislington, they were flying the Fallen Gnat, another advanced flying trainer. Now the Hawk T1 Mark, the Hawk Mark T1A, and as opposed to a Red Arrows Hawk Mark T1A, it's a little bit different to the regular, but of course, apart from being painted red, it is a two-seater, a trainer aircraft, and a brilliant one as such. And it is a standard, it's a two-seater, so the pilot or the student or the junior pilot would sit at the front and the instructor would sit at the back. But what makes this a Red Arrows aircraft different to, let's say, a regular, at the time, a Hawk T1? Because the Hawk T1 is only flown now by the Red Arrows. The 100 Squadron used to fly this in 2022. I think they disbanded in March of 2022. They were the last. So, what makes this different to a regular Hawk? Well, first of all, the Red Arrows chose the T1A so they can actually fit this smoke pod, because generally you are able to fit a 30mm Aiden cannon, so because of that feature they were able to attach the smoke pod. The Hawk can also, the T1A and onwards and later marks, can be fitted with a range of ordnance as well. But before we go into the smoke pod, let's first of all talk about the engine modification. So I'd say the first modification to make this a Red Arrows Hawk is paint. So it's been painted red. There's your modification number one. May not sound much, but hey, that's a modification. The second modification is the engine. Now standard, it's a Rolls-Royce Ardeur Mark 151 engine, around about 5,500 pounds or thereabouts of thrust. However, the Rolls-Royce engine, the Ardeur Mark 151, has actually been tuned to Red Arrow specifics to make it a lot more responsive for the needs and requirements of being in tight formations and the requirements of the Red Arrows. Okay, so the technical aspects of the modifications, that sadly I do not know exactly what they've done to it. However, they've modified it. So that's modification number two. So the Red Arrows, to make them part of their display, is of course the famous smoke. You can't have a Red Arrows display without the red, white and blue smoke. So this is where they picked the T1A so they can apply a smoke pod. Now on the smoke pod itself, now if we were to open the front cap, there'll be of this, you'll find 3 portholes where the dye team would actually fill this up, almost like using pipes and jerry cans. Yes, you heard it, jerry cans, and I'll explain how the filling process takes place. It is dye that can be mixed with the diesel. They got a special mixture of dye and diesel. Now in the center will be your white smoke. Okay, so it will probably be pure diesel in as such. You've also got red and white. Now I believe it's 1 minute of red, 1 minute of blue, and about 5 minutes of white smoke in this pod. Now to fill this up, there's nothing fancy about it other than just getting good old pipes and jerry cans and filling it up with the dye. Now there's no amazing technology and all these instruments to allow the dye team to know that they filled it up correctly. How do they do that? They just tap it and knock it to find out if it's been filled up. Bit like a hollow wall in modern day houses. They're quite hollow. When it gets a bit like, oh, that's solid, it's full. So what I'm saying is that there's nothing fancy about filling this up. Now something that we don't see at the back very often, because we're seeing smoke come out, are these smoke pipes. This is where the smoke actually comes out. Now when I first started doing this, I thought it was one pipe that does blue, then the middle one does white, and the other one does red, right? It's not. All 3 pipes produce the same color smoke. Okay, so it just depends on what the Red Arrows pilot needs to select for the smoke to come out, what color that will give. All right, so I didn't know that. Now wind plays a major part in the strength of the wind can play a major part, and sometimes you need a more sort of thicker plume of smoke. Underneath here is actually the Hawk's air brake is underneath, not as opposed to the F-15 or the Typhoon, where the air brake is on the top. On the Hawk, it's at the bottom, it opens up, and what that does, it creates like turbulence and a vortex, and makes a more plumpier plume of smoke. All right, so that's pretty much what we have. We also have, because of the excellent wing design, it's an excellent design for our junior advanced training pilots. The Red Arrows have what's called Toblerones here, these silver triangular Toblerones. They're shaped like a Toblerone, like that applies there, but I've just added some paint there, look. Pretty cool, huh? Now this, along with the wing vortices, it creates buffer. And also the Red Arrow's Hawk generates a lot of lift. In fact, it can go up to about 40,000 feet service ceiling as well. It's a very nippy aircraft, about 638 miles per hour, or around that sort of speeds. It can get to 400 miles per hour in less than 2 minutes. And the smoke, by the way it generates, what I didn't tell you, when the dye is released out of here, the heat created from the efflux here, the engine, the heat is about 400 to 600 degrees Celsius. So this basically evaporates and creates the smoke. That's how it's actually created. So the dye mixed with diesel is released out of the pipes, and that heat evaporates it. All right, so there you go. It's quite a quite a great aircraft, literally from the ground to take off, get up to excellent speeds in just under 2 minutes. And it's a superb little aircraft, it really is. It's great for low level. It can do 400 miles per hour at their low level speeds of 200 low level height at 250 feet. It can certainly do that. It is a very maneuverable aerobatics aircraft, it really is. And it's quite nice that it's a trainer. It must be an inspiration to use a fast jet trainer rather than a fighter jet to be able to do that and push it to its limits. So it's a very forgiving lift for new trainee junior pilots. It really is excellent. I think it looks cute as well. I like it, and it's been an iconic shape for me since I was a kid. Just having a look now at the Red Arrows ASP. Even the parking, it's down to millimeter perfect parking. It's all about perfection and keeping things sweet and neat there. So we may not get anything, but we certainly will get lorries here, I'll tell you that. So, thanks a lot, Perry, for the research. So the RAF Tutor display team falls under 22 group, and the Chinook comes with the Joint Aviation Command. So there we go. That's why the display wing, number 1 group, does not include the Chinook and the Tutor. There we go. Pretty cool. I love learning. So when it comes to the PDA, number 1 group have their air marshal. Pretty cool, isn't it? Hi, you alright?
Do you know if look, a sort of person that would know, do you know if there's anything interesting coming in?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
You haven't got a...
No, I don't. I'm afraid. I'm sorry. I wish I could, but I don't.
Okay.
We're just hoping.
What are you doing with your little gnats there then?
Talking about the history of the Red Arrows.
Oh, right. Okay.
And how a Red Arrows Hawk differs to a regular Hawk.
Okay, yeah.
So just talking about all the differences and talking about the engine modification.
Ray Hanna, 20th anniversary of his...
Yeah.
Read about that on the internet yesterday or the day before. Yeah. I remember the gnats when they were
Yes, the
Quite
Yellow Jacks.
spectacular.
Yeah, they were good. Yeah, they were great. I never got to see them, but I've seen videos. They look very good.
We went to, when we were kids, our dad never used to take us to air shows. We had to sit in the field outside. We were at Little Brisington.
That's it.
And they came over a hill, right?
Oh, nice.
40 feet above us.
Nice.
Real memories.
Nice.
Anyway.
No worries.
Nice chatting.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So here we are, the Yellow Jacks followed Nat. So when the Red Arrows formed in '64, what the Royal Air Force did, they amalgamated all the teams. I mean, I can tell you the full history very shortly, but it was, the Red Arrows were yellow for just a few seconds. Plenty of yellow because during the Second World War, yellow was used for prototypes, just so that Boscombe Down and could make sure that their prototypes were easily identified so they weren't shot down by our own anti-aircraft fire. When with so much paint after the war, well, training aircraft converted to be used as yellow. Again, a safety colour, please don't shoot us, we're only training, etc. But of course, being a display aerobatics team, we get a lot of grey skies in the UK, so they switched to red, which looks better in grey should we have grey skies. And so they amalgamated the red Pelicans, they took the name of the black Arrows, and yeah, there we go, they became the Red Arrows. It was Flight Lieutenant Lee Jones, who was at RAF Valley. He led the first ever Red Arrows team with the fallen Nat. There we go. That was right up until 1979 when they switched from the advanced trainer to the Hawk T1. So we may have a little wait, but it's always worth it. All good. Nice. Really good. Canopies down now, so I'm not sure. So just hoping for the canopies just to pop up again, which would be good. And it's certainly a nice clear sky now, completely different. Would have been nice earlier, but there we go. Definitely is, yeah. Definitely. We've had all 4 seasons in one. That's quite typical for here. Amazing. So yesterday we enjoyed a couple of pairs departures, and was giving you a bit of history about formation flying, and it's been around literally since aviation itself. Even on the battlefield, the importance of formation flying has been taking place even during the First World War, and other tactics of getting into formation. But even on the departure side as well, it was seen crucial to get aircraft up as quickly as possible. You get more up in the air, you get more out into the cloud cover as well, as quickly as possible. And of course the defensive and attacking benefits of flying into formation really does give you a benefit as well. And you only have to look at the amount of guns on a B-17 to know how effective and protecting that could be against enemy fighters. But of course I've spoken many times about how the Luftwaffe found the weak spot of any bomber really, and of course the B-17s, it can take quite a few hundred bullets to take down a B-17, maybe as even much as 1,000, but it only takes sadly just 1 or 2 bullets to enter that cockpit to cause disaster, and that's what they did. However, we'll leave that one for now. We're talking about formation flying, but with formation flying, from the very first airshow at Reims, France in 1909 to the first RAF pageant with 32 Squadron, which was held in 1920. The history of formation flying and airshow is over 115 years, and it was in 1925 the pageant became known as the Royal Air Force Display, which was held at RAF Hendon. Then the first of them staged in the 1920 and the last 1937 at Hendon. And in the following year, the Munich crisis, the rearmament and the gathering war clouds brought an end to the annual event, and feats of aerial skill and daring do's were an integral part of the Hendon display. And during 1920 display, 5 Sopwith Snipe fighters from CFS, Central Flying School, they carried out a loop and they rolled in formation and flew inverted. In 1926, 9 Siskin fighters of Seek and Destroy 41 Squadron performed aerobatics and formation changes to music. So when we think of music being a modern idea with displays, it really isn't. We're looking at least 1920s that was even done, and even tying aircraft to a type of rope as well that was used, which was quite amazing. And it was common for these displays to be active during this, and though their range of maneuvers fell far short of those in what we have today, but during 1936 display it was indeed the Gloucester Gauntlet, 3 of them which are biplanes of 19 Squadron. They performed close formation aerobatics with their wings tied together using breakable cord, which you may have seen at air shows this year. I for one did see that. I think it was Old Buckingham which they did that as well, which is pretty cool. And in 1938, being known briefly as the Empire Air Day, biplanes carried on that trend of flying to music, which is quite spectacular. So the Hendon air shows, the air displays at Hendon during the interwar years were a huge success on 3 levels. First, they kept the RAF in the public eye, and they helped ensure that the service enjoyed a powerful and supportive air lobby both in the country and in Parliament too. And they also helped generate a pool of air enthusiasts keen to volunteer. And this is where I always majorly highlight that displays are really, really important. They really are, because they do a lot than just wow the crowds. They actually form part of recruitment, because how many pilots of display teams, or even just non-display, and this is the thing during that interwar period, and even during just the last few years, you need to have a recruitment. But how do you advertise that? and that's through displays. And this is why it's so important to have air shows. They inspire the future generation, and during that time of World War II looming, you're going to need recruits, you're going to need it. So it puts the RAF in the public eye. And of course, let's broaden that. The Royal Navy, the Wildcats, the Apache, the F-35B, but also on the ground and sea and Navy. You know, when you go to air shows, they have stalls, they have RAF Regiment, they have the cookery schools, they have the catering, armourers, technicians, engineers, and then you've also got the contractors who produce a lot of the items. So BAE Systems, Avionics, BAE Systems, Leonardo, all this kind of stuff. And you know, it really inspires. So if the air isn't for you, but maybe you can take part in that whole process, and which is why. So it's really important. And I'd love to ask that question: how many Red Arrows pilots saw the Red Arrows when they were young and now become Red Arrows themselves? So I love that, you know, and it did, you know, and it puts that into the public eye. You know, you can't just go, we've got a world war, do you want to just, you know, learn to fly? When you can show what you can do in this aircraft, brilliant. And also it produces business, revenue, money, not just the businesses around. What I'm talking about is getting the contract. I think it's Turkey that saw the Typhoon display and they're like, we want that. And that's another thing you've got to remember. We've got to let's roll this back. All these companies that were building up, Vickers, you know, Gloucester, Bristol company, Shorts, Handley Page, advertising, the Sopwith, you know, all these aircraft manufacturers. Just think if an Air Force said, we'll take that, we'll have that, we'll take that, you know, just think of the revenue that will put in into that. And then of course, you know, the displays, they raise morale of the service as well, and they heighten everything as well. So after the Second World War, well, during the Second World War, we didn't, you know, luckily we had the air shows during the interwar period because, you know, just imagine how many were inspired to join. But in 1947, so way after the war, the de Havilland Vampires took to the sky to make them the first ever jet aircraft to be used in fast jet team. Now, they were known as the Black Knights, and I think it's one of this or another. I think this is why the inspiration, once you get your public display authorization, that they wear black, because the Black Knights wore a black suit. I did come across, I don't know how genuine it is, I did see RAF pilots during World War II have a black flying suit as well, but I like to keep it themed with aviation displays, air shows. And it was 72 Squadron flew in a team of 7. And this was at RAF Odium. 54 squadrons started to use smoke trails until finally the Gloucester Meteor took over from the Vampire. And it was in the 50s that it was time for the Hawker Hunter to take. 1956 saw Treble 1 Squadron take to the skies. Many more RAF Aerobatics teams started to form, and in 1958 the Black Arrows performed a loop and a barrel roll of 22 Hunters, a world record for the greatest number of aircraft looped in formation at that time. The Black Arrows were a premier team until 1961. Then the Blue Diamonds of 92 Squadron continued their role, flying 16 Blue Hunters. If you go to the Newark Air Museum, I don't know if the lads went to. Did you guys go to Newark the other day? Did you go to Newark?
Yeah, before the pub, yeah.
Did you see the Blue Hunter? There was a Blue Hunter there in Blue Diamond colours, 92 Squadron. But it's there. So there's one there. Also, they were flying 16 of the Blue Hunters and Yellow Jacks, Red Pelicans, and then something extraordinary happened, which a lot of people love: the English Electric Lightnings in formation doing displays. I mean, can you imagine? And it was in 1960 that the Tigers were re-equipped with the legendary, unique, vertically aligned engines of the English Electric Lightning, and wowed the crowd with 9 Lightnings in type formation, and their break, I've seen a video, was spectacular. 56 Squadron, the Firebirds, with their 9 red and silver Lightnings, also in the displays. Now, I haven't got English Electric Lightnings to show you, however, what I do have is a picture. Just to give you an idea what that would look like. Here they are. Look at this. Look at this. Firebirds. Look at that. 9 of them there. And just see about 4 just there. There you go. So there's the tiny one just there, but can you imagine that? And I know what you're thinking, can we have this again, please? I know many of you do. However, when I first started doing this, I really thought that the Red Arrows just got in their little red planes, met up now and again, completely not true, and then just, you know, just started to fly like that. To be at that level, what have we got here? Is that going out? Oh well, looks like we got our first movement of the day.
Did you start talking history again?
Yes.
It brings out the place, man.
Yeah. I know. First movement of the day. Not Red Arrows, but this will do to get our aviation fix. Quick look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 canopies open. Oh, come on. Just keep talking history. Listen to this. Yeah, give it some. Setting car alarms. So this is a Piper Navajo CXL. It sounds like Lycoming TO 540 engines by the sound of it, but they sound good. She is a beaut, and she's just set car alarms off. Actually set the car alarm off. That's good.
Airplane's daddy must be so proud now.
Oh, and an Abba 500 in the back. Yeah! There's Tom Cruise just passing by. There he goes. It's all going off here, isn't it? And of course it wouldn't be Waddington without all the trucks and lorries that go past. But there we go. Jenny B, how you doing? Dieter, Simon watching. Aspen, what up? Margot, Dr. Alan Q, Richard.
Oi oi!
Oi oi, Ian Wright, Righty there's Righty, where's Elon? Aspen, how you doing? Ian Wright, hope you're all good. Martin, Mayhem Marshy, hope you're all well. Thank you so much, all of you, for tuning in today. Welcome. And we do have 6 canopies that I could see of the red arrows with the canopies open, so let's hope. And the sun is shining quite nicely now, actually. It's becoming a lot more comfortable. Here we go. Let's just bring that over there now. The landing gear retracting, that was cool. Oh, red arrows are calling. Oi, oi. Red arrows are calling. Well, there's 1, 2. That one's just shut. There was about 6 canopies open. So let's see what we're gonna get. Okay, let's hope for a good one. So I don't know if that came through on the screen, on the stream. That bassy sound, that's our Rolls-Royce Ardeur Mark 151. I suppose it depends what way the wind is blowing, what the direction is, but there we go. We do have startups. Thanks for tuning in now. Get ready for some Hawk Red Arrows action. So, two new recruits and one new position this year. Don't forget to be even accepted in to at least attempt to qualify for the Red Arrows. You need at least 1,500 hours of flying to your name, along with being marked as being above average. You need to be just that little bit special to even be accepted. And also one more requirement is that you must have completed one operational tour as well with that. All right, so before you apply, you're going to need those minimums before you can even attempt to do that. But so, of course, Red 1 is Squadron Leader John Bond. How you doing, Bondy? Welcome, Red Arrows. Hope you're all good. He's the team leader, and it's Red 1 that's primarily responsible for all aspects of the display, the running, the training program, and choreographing the show as well, and he leads the display team. He's the one that the Reds 2, 3, all the others will be watching in that display, and the trust falls into that. And of course, our legendary friend, Red 2 Flight Lieutenant Matt Brighty's first ever season. And of course, we all know Matt Brighty, the 2023 RAF Typhoon display pilot. Also, let's welcome the new recruit, Red 3 Flight Lieutenant Christopher Deen as well. He was on an exchange with the US Navy flying FA-18 Hornets, E and F Super Hornets. Red 4 is Flight Lieutenant Rob Thomas. Red 5 is Flight Lieutenant Andrew McEwen, and again, like I said, last year he made Red Arrows history by becoming the first ever 5th generation F-35B pilot to transition into the Red Arrows. Red 6 is Flight Lieutenant George Hobday. Red 7 is Flight Lieutenant Ollie Suckling. Red 8 is Squadron Leader Chris McCann. Red 9 Flight Lieutenant Dustin Wells, and taking Red 10 this year as supervisor is Squadron Leader Stuart Roberts. All commanded by the OC of the Red Arrows, Wing Commander Adam Collins. And of course, let's not forget the blues, the engineering, and of course the circus as well with that. Right, it's time for the Red Arrows. They are in, and hopefully we'll be taxiing out very shortly. Hello. Huh? Yeah, one minute. Yeah. You gonna get it now or in a bit? Yeah, okay. Yeah, cool. Let's do it. Oh yes, yes. It takes time for the voice to travel up here. Yeah, cheese, that'd be great. Let's do this. Yep, that'd be awesome. Oh, that's nice now, isn't it? Oh, we got one on the move. Here we go. I wonder if it's... Do you know what? I wonder if they're gonna send one out to do like a little... Mind you, I think they need to check the weather now. No, 2. Here we go. 3. 3 on the move. So you're tuned in to the Ted Coningsby channel live here at RAF Waddington. Please support the channel, please hit that like. You've been cleared, smoke on, go on the like button. 4 red arrows, come on. 5 red arrows, come on. 5 on the move. And lorries on the move. Oh, it's at 6. 6. Yeah. We have 6 yonders. Yes! Now if you're new to this, don't panic. The red arrows are not a 6 ship. Do not panic, it's the way they train. You may come in, just see the 1. You may see just 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or even 8. They are a 9. Do not panic. It's the way they train, 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 and train, and train. And a little bit more training to become the world famous red arrows. in the sun. I'm going to just bear with that a minute. Give me a second. Just give me a second, as soon as they've gone out the sun. Right, here we go, let's ride. Red arrows, totally making us proud. Here we go, come on Reds. Even numbers on the right, odds on the left. So Brighty will be on the right, just next to red one. I'm just so excited to know that Brighty is in this, and it's because of the journey we've had. It's so special, you know, from his work up to becoming, you know, into the RAF Typhoon display team, his work up, flying Ted to Riyadh, to Poland, Czech Republic. Red arrows pilot, amazing. the sun. Completely blinded there. Sorry about that. Just hold it there with the smoke and just watch it. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Now I've lost them. I mean, that's...
Still behind it on the tightening on the right side, but not bad. 6 to get down, half hour second. Still fine. Thank you, yeah, similar on the left there. Hopefully the reverse is looking a bit better. Slightly greater with the timing and the input there, so we'll see what it looks like. Hopefully the voice of the picture then will lead us a bit better. Oh, copy. Just 4-5, keep working on the timing, just growing the pitch in the roll as well. That's all that. All that. Nah. Oh, there's that, mate. Nah. Right. Okay. Oh, sorry. Now that's a battle. Stop. Good. To the left. Hey. All right. Nah. Oh, there's that, mate. Nah. Right. Rolling. to the left. 2, 2, left, Matt. Holding down, right. Left, right. Out, falling. Out. 6, 6, 6, 6. 6, 0, 6, 6, Robert, tapping off for. Thank you, boss. Yeah, I think we're still overflying it for the conditions, so just keep working on smooth input and not chasing those risks. Feel fine. Basically, it's not from the left personnel, just need to keep working on the behind it, and then the growth of the input, still not quite getting there. All copy, fine. I think your initial input's too big, so you're then having to back it off. So just nice gradual growth of the reversals. Similarly on the roll, purely so I can see you into the roll, just behind it. Take it off. Go to the left. Left. Now. Holding now, right. Right. Out. Rolling. Out. With the battle. 4. 6. To the left. 8. To the left. Back. Holding now, right. Right. Out. Rolling. Out. Up in, rolling. Clear the last one, clear number 5. With a Flt Lt 998 has soft tails, it'll be a flat left average. Off the circle round, wind is 190. A little bit left. Left.
I've lost the red, sorry about that. There we go.
Rolling. Good black over the wind.
Nicely done, Red Arrows. Absolutely fantastic stuff. I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, You've been cleared to smoke on go on the like button there. Support the channel. This is your one and only Ted Coningsby channel. The plan to give you weekly Red Arrows training sessions as much as I can. Oh, it was bundes. I got it with the Kestrel. Going through the Kestrel. It went right through. Yes! I don't know that one, that's a new one. Here we go, another new aircraft to add to the list of variety of aircraft that we've seen here at Waddington. It is a French, looks like a French roundel there. Yes, it is. I don't know if it's a Chingu or something like that. Tell you what, looks like a PT6 engine, doesn't it? See ya!
Yeah, definitely.
So you can hear Red One giving lots of feedback there, and that's how you do it. You keep training, you keep doing it. Now they're usually up 3 to 4 times a day, usually, but of course today it's a bit of a shorter day today. Thanks a lot, Davey, for that. A French TBM 700.
How's it on the floor? Thank you, Bob. What a lovely day. Great conditions. I think just a general overflow stational references. But it's still early days. You're on fine.
Still early days.
Yeah, this is weird. I think
So you can hear, okay, so we do this, well, we try to every week, okay, come to Waddington for the Red Arrows to watch them work up for the display season. Right up to April, May before they go away in April for exercise Spring Hawk. They'll go to Greece, Cyprus, where they can carry out their full displays as a 9 in more reliable weather, so that it's uninterrupted. They get the PDA, which is what you need in Britain to perform at air shows. You need that, otherwise you won't be able to. So they need to go and get that. And you can see how hard the input, the feedback, you know, we may think, yeah, it looks great, but Red One is giving back the feedback. Still early days, he knows they can do better. And the fact, when I mentioned about the English Electric Lightning, you know, wouldn't it be nice to have that, or at least Typhoons? The problem is you're then taking away frontline part, you know, you're taking away the aircraft, okay, all the running, you know, you're using up a frontline aircraft, then you're using up the engineers as well as the pilots. You're taking them away. With the Red Arrows, they go for 3 seasons. You know, with the Typhoon display team, imagine, you know, all the personnel on a Typhoon display team. If you were to multiply that by 6 or 9, over 150 engineers alone, probably another, you know, 30, 40 for the other aspects as well. It's a lot to take out. It's a lot to take out at their frontline duties. You know, it really is. You know, and the other challenges as well, switching back our frontline fighter pilots from their regular roles to thank you very much. To do this, you're taking away frontline basically, and then converting from all that hardcore technology, and then suddenly back to analog. It is a shock to the system, I'm sure it is. And then to go, thinking of the F-35B then to this, I mean, think about it, but it wasn't to be. But there we go. Absolutely, Babs. It looked great to us, but obviously it's different when you're up there with them. Exactly, and that's exactly that. You've got to think about that. Think about how much demand is needed and required. Oh yeah, Mark Moody, thank you. I know my PT6. You're welcome, YVO Heaton. You're most welcome. Nice one, Babs. Thanks for your interaction there. Absolutely. Again, another aircraft that is powered by the Pratt & Whitney's amazing PT6 engine. Rob Kedder, thank you so much. Yeah, so don't forget, it's about a 25-minute or 22-minute display, the red arrows. Again, there's so many elements, and this is why you just don't go out there and train as a full 9. There's so many elements you've got to perfect. You have to do it in sections, you have to do it in stages. You can't just go out with the 9 because of 22 minutes of display time. There's so much going on in that display, you wouldn't be able to do it. You do it in the right way. You do the same sequence over and over again. Maybe 8 times, 10 times a day in 3 sorties, for example. Maybe 9 times, maybe 5 times. On each sortie, doing the same. I mean, we've seen it before. The synchro pair doing as many of the same sequence just in one sortie over and over again for about 15 minutes. And it's the whole point of that is to perfect it, and then you put it all together. Chinook. Is that a Chinook? Something's over there. It is a Chinook. It's a shame it didn't use runway 20. To hear it. Lovely sound. There you go, the big bore exhausts of the PT6, the wonderful Pratt & Whitney PT6 engine Those exhausts just showing off to other pilots. What it's powered by, listen to this. Lovely. Well, thanks for joining us today on this finally a blue sky day. Look at this, amazing. And, don't forget, all of you who have tuned in, Ted Coningsby channel here, hopefully you can all support us hitting that like button, and do support us by subscribing to your one and only Ted Coningsby channel. Frank's Music, high five. Welcome to the Ted Coningsby Squadron. Thanks for joining us. Guards March. Ah, yeah. And Melody, high five. Welcome to the Ted Coningsby Squadron. A Guards March to you. Ah, yeah. Jan Clark, thank you very much for the super chat. Hope you're okay, Nikos. Thanks for hanging in there. Thank you very much, all of you as well, and yourself, Jan, and Andy there. Thanks a lot for all of you who have just been patient. Adrian Anderson, thank you very much for your 29 months membership. Wow, great times for me and the channel. Carl R2, high five. Welcome to the Ted Coningsby Squadron at Guards March. Babs Art, high five. Thank you for gifting a Ted Coningsby membership. Not Captain Weber, member for 31 months. Another month rolls around. So proud of what the TCS has become. Tia, awesome. Can't wait for next year, and we can't either. Doncaster, last 29 months membership. Karen Perkins with 37 months membership. Who's put oi oi, Merry Christmas everyone. Merry Christmas to you too. Margot, thank you very much for the super chat for a great party. Thank you very much. Brian Acosta, Guards March, thank you very much for the super. Alex Raven, oi oi, let's hear it, an oi oi from all the way. Oi oi! Margot Baxter, Guards March, thank you very much for the super. Alan Q, thank you very much for the super. Jenny B, thank you very much for the super. Rob Kennard, thank you very much for the super chat, who's put oi oi with red arrows. Nice. Guards March to all of you. Thank you very much. And I believe we've got some circuits now from the Shadow R1. Got another little plane now. Low approach. Oh, look at the landing gear. And you know, that was typical of a C-47 to do that as well, you know, with the main landing gear retracting individually. I actually didn't know Shadow R1 does the same. You can all hear the waka waka. What's going on here? Got another little tiddly plane, look. Tiddly Wednesday. I don't know. I can hear it. I don't know what this is doing. Is it going to take off on the grass? They have a grass runway here. Some pretty little plane here now. Oh yes. Woo! Pretty sweet, isn't it? definitely been a bingo session here today. I mean, how's that looking at your garden, isn't it? It is beautiful. You know, you just open your window in your garden and you got a Chinook. Oh yeah, nice. What a look. Do you know what? I was hoping it would take off this way. I was so hoping. I didn't want it to go into the sun. Yeah. That was absolutely brilliant, man. What a day it's been. I mean, it's a short one, but a good one, isn't it? I was hoping it would go this way.
Yes, it can.
I got worried because it came up here.
Yeah, I know.
Clearly fans of the Ted Coningsby channel.
Yeah, that's been a good day.
Great little day, this. I think it's time for another. I think it's time to talk a little bit more history, get a bit more going. You know, that was beautiful, wasn't it? It went this way as well. I like that. That's a cup of tea. Teddy bears. Well, what a mini, I mean, it's been a very short stream and yet we've had all sorts going on. Now what we've got here, let me guess, another little tiddly plane there. Yep, here we go.
Okay, get to sleep. As long as you don't bring lights on.
With the one sitting right there, except for the way into the Atlantic.
Oh, hello. Look at this, got another one. Ooh. go, bit of PT6. Are you going now, mate? Yeah? Well, it's good to see you, man. Take care. Cheers, buddy. Have a good one. Remember at Coningsby? So with the Beechcraft Shadow here, and this one's based here at RAF Waddington. And it's not your usual aircraft. It may look like a very simple aircraft, but it is far from that indeed. It's absolutely, for what it does, it's the Shadow R1. It is of course based on, or at least a modified Beechcraft King Air 350, but it's the Shadow R Mark 1. Its role is a tactical ISTAR support for global operations with improved altitude, speed and coverage, and a range of broader surveillance coverage as well. And it is a very advanced aircraft. It is powered by one of my favourite engines, believe it or not, a Pratt & Whitney PT6. It's flown by 14 and 54 Squadron as well to make up part of the ISTAR force. Let's not forget the Royal Auxiliary Air Forces that are here: 616, 6006, 7E10, 7630. Also got 2503 Squadron, Royal Auxiliary Air Force Regiment. So we do have the Reggies here as well. 5 RAF Police and Security Squadron ISTAR as well here. 71 Inspection and Repair. We've got the Repair Air Battle Space Training Centre. It's part of the 54 Signals Unit here. RAF Waddington Voluntary Band. We've got the Air Battle Space Training Centre, Mobile Meteorological Unit, Joint Electronic Warfare Operational Support Centre as well. Of course, the Red Arrows, the RAF Waddington Digital Support Flight, Air and Space Warfare Centre, which we know is the HQ for number 41 Squadron that are based at Coningsby with their Foons. Again, the big bore exhaust like we've seen on the French aircraft, I think it was, had the PT6 engine. You can tell the signature of a PT6 are those big bore exhausts. See ya. Now let's, if I can see with that sun not blocking it, let's have a look at the landing gear. If it, oh, they're going together. So, okay, when it came into, that was interesting. Did we not just see it go in separately? It might have been an optical illusion then. Yeah. Okay, never mind. When it was doing a low approach or a missed approach, the gear retracted one at a time, a bit like the C-47 there. That was weird. But this time they both went in. So no idea, it could have been an optical illusion. Kev, how you doing, man? Kev H, watching from Liverpool. How you doing? Regards to yourself and Amanda. Hope that you're both well, mate. Hope you're all good. I'm probably going to find out if they are closing at 3 today, because of course Red Arrows will have another sortie. But whether or not the car park's still open, that's another issue. Mind you, it'll be pretty dark. Let's see what's on the agenda. So for those who would like to know a little bit more about jet engines, here we go, is my example. You may have heard that sort of quirky sort of formula, the suck, squeeze, bang, blow, but it is indeed pretty much how a jet engine works. The air is sucked in through the inlet, meets the fan, and it's pressurized to a specific pressure. It's compressed to a particular pressure, which is called a low pressure compressor. Now, this is my generic drawing, and as it goes in, you're going to meet loads of little fat, like blade, almost like basically propellers inside, but they're actually blades, which I can show you if you really want to see. As they spin around, there's also, which I didn't put in, there's stator vanes as well. They're blades that are stationary, so all these are turning, and what it's doing, it's sort of conditioning and compressing and pressurizing the air, and when it gets to the high pressure compressor, you'll notice it gets narrower and narrower. So that is the suck, and now this bit's the squeeze. Okay, so it's compressing that air and squeezing it. Why compressed air? Well, it's a lot more combustible, you get more air into the mix, and it's a lot more economical because you've got so much air and you've just squeezed it. Think about buying a 1.5 litre carton of orange juice and they claim to have 4 million oranges in there. That's basically what you've done here. You've squeezed in a particular amount of air and you made it smaller. You've basically increased this sort of atmospheric pressure, shall we say. And then you've got a bypass. Now I'll explain about the bypass in just a moment. So there's your squeeze. Now this compressed air goes into the combustion chamber, the hot section, okay, and there are spray nozzles here, and it's spraying fuel into that and mixing into the compressed air. Okay, now that combustion, once it's ignited, it turns these turbines. Now the turbines actually power their particular compressor. So the high pressure turbine powers, actually starts turning through a shaft, turns the high pressure compressor, and the low pressure turbine powers the low pressure compressor. Now there are different configurations. You don't always have 13 or whichever it is, 13 high pressure stages of high pressure, but this is just generic. Now when you go up to about here, that's your blow, that's your thrust, that makes your aircraft move forward on the ground. Okay, then you've got your aerodynamics of your wings, your airfoil and your flaps to push to give lift. Okay, but just quickly, although we don't really have afterburners here at Waddington, what is afterburner, what is reheat? The point of an afterburner and reheat, have a look at the word reheat. You're reheating something. Afterburner, you're burning something after. So that, without afterburner and reheat, that'll be like a engine in a Boeing 747 or something, or a Trent, I don't know, whichever. That's your engine. And the reason for the afterburner is that it's now spraying through these spray bars. There's a separate section, a separate area where it is insulated because of the heat created. It does give you more power because what you're doing is spraying good old fuel into the hot gases, not compressed air. So that's why it actually gives you a lot more power, but increases your fuel consumption by quite a lot, by 3 times. And then of course that will give you your afterburner. Afterburner length is almost about the length of an aircraft, by the way. Almost about that. All right, so there you go. Now the reason for a bypass, so the Typhoon off the top of my head has a bypass ratio of 0.4 to 1. The reason is because that air is going through, it needs a flow, and that's what's called a low bypass, 0.4, and then you get high bypass. These are a lot more economical. They need to be, and they're a lot more quiet, but you need that flow of air to go right through. Otherwise, if it didn't have anything, it wouldn't flow right, and it would sound quite loud as well. But here's the thing, all right? Here's the thing. Now, the PT6 engine does things very, very differently. Now we're going to go with prop. Here we go. Now this is our PT6 engine. Completely different concept of what I've just said. It doesn't have a bypass, and it's what's called a reverse flow. It does things backwards. There's no bypass, and it's actually the hot exhaust gases that actually turn the propeller. I know, right? Let's have a little look what's going on here. Because the engine, it's called a reverse flow, because the front of the engine is actually at the back, okay? And it's an amazing engine, and it's a free power turbine. Now when I say free, F-R-E-E, you'll see that it's not connected. This section here is completely independent from this section. Benefits of that is that you can take this section here and get to work on it rather than taking the whole thing apart. Very, very amazing. Probably about 1.8 meters in length, this whole engine. Now let's talk a little bit about it. This is almost looking on a bird's eye view. These are the 2 exhausts that stick out, all right, just to give you an idea. The air goes through the inlet, and it's got a special mesh for FOD, all right? And this is why there's no bypass, because the actual whole front of the engine's at the back. So the air goes in, remember, suck, squeeze, bang, blow. It still has that, except the air is going in through the back and works its way to the front of the aircraft. It's going in at 1 bar of pressure, all right, let's think about that. And then it meets the compressor stages. Now you can get 3 or 4 stages depending on the size of your aircraft. Probably a T6, a Texan from Valley probably has a 3-stage compressor. All right, so again, it gets narrower, squeezes the air, and it meets a low pressure. And then what happens here? It gets compressed to 10 bar when it meets the centrifugal compressor, and it basically gives the compressed air 180 degrees of disbursement and goes into the combustion chamber. So you got your suck and you got your squeeze, and it's compressed the air, but this is a centrifugal compressor. Compresses the total air 10 times. So 1 bar of pressure compressed to 10. And it gets really hot here. Think of when you pump your football or pump your bike. the pump gets really hot. And you know, when pressure builds, it creates heat. Now that compressed air goes into the combustion chamber. Again, there's about 14 spray nozzles, and then it ignites, bang, okay? Now, here's the difference. You've got a single stage axial free turbine here. It's a high pressure compressor turbine, and it's mounted on the same shaft, this turbine here, okay? Now this spins at 39,000 RPM. Now, it's this basically kinetic energy, these hot gases that's pushed this way, because it's all going that way, start spinning the free power turbine, which are these turbines here. Gets to about 35,000 RPM, which is way too fast for any propeller. So what it does, it meets a two-stage planetarial reduction gearbox, and it actually turns 35,000 RPM to 1700 to 2200 RPM. It's this hot gases that technically spin the propeller. It's a little bit like this, which we've probably not got a windy day. So here's our propeller, look. There's the hot gases, and it's spinning the propeller basically. Well, it's actually spinning the turbine, but it's actually spinning the whole unit. It's amazing. It's very simple. There it goes on its own, look. Absolutely brilliant, isn't it? Absolutely amazing. That's all I'm doing. There's no ifs, buts. Now, the other thing as well to note is this is spinning one way and this is spinning another. Remember, if you were to do that in on a motorbike at 35,000 RPM, you are going to backflip. And there's a lot of engines such as the, let's think, the P38 used to have counter-rotating propellers. What I mean by that is one spinning one way and one spinning the other. The A400 does the same because it's so torquey. If they all spun one way, that Beechcraft Shadow is just going to go, see ya, it's going to flip over. So it does that to keep and stop the whole frame from snapping. It is a wonderful engine. I think, you know, Pratt & Whitney have been making engines for what, way over 80 years, I think. It's remarkable. Probably a lot longer. I mean, that was off the top of my head. Oh, car park's getting empty. You are, man.
Just checking when everyone's out of here, but you know already. Yeah.
I suppose I could show you this diagram that's just naturally landed on the right page, actually. Or has it? No, actually it's not the right one. That was talking about angle of attack. Let's have a look what else I got. Some interesting things on here. Here we go. So we've spoken about the aircraft moving on the ground forward, but that doesn't actually make it lift. Lift is caused by the design of the wings, the airfoil. So here's our wings. Now wings, you might think are just flat or whatever. They're actually flat on the bottom and then rounded. They're a particular design. So our aircraft on the ground is moving forward, okay? It's got the thrust, it's got the power, it's got the shaft horsepower, it's got the prop power, propulsion, whatever engine it's got in it is making it move that way. It's making it move forward. But that's not enough, but it's going to gain speed, and it gains to a certain speed for lift. And what happens here is because it's flat at the bottom and then it's round. Think about when you are we've all done it in a moving vehicle, going, I don't know, 70 miles per hour, whatever, 100 kilometers per hour, maybe less than that, it doesn't matter, but you stick your hand out like that, and we're going this way. If you stick your hand out the window a little bit, we all do it, and you'll notice if you turn it this way, your hand goes down, and if you turn it this way your hand goes up. You know, we've all felt that and never really wondered why. So that's what a lot of the elevators or the ailerons and wing flaps, etc., that's pretty much what they do. But we're not going to go into all that. I'm going to keep it simple. But that's why if you look at the F-35 when it takes off, it lifts up its elevators up and it pushes down to create a bit more lift, or move, or lift the nose up for a greater angle of attack, so it can lift up even higher and take off. So what happens here, as it's going at fast speeds, so 180 miles per hour, whichever the speed, is creating so much pressure. The thrust is really going forward, and the higher the pressure, greater the force, and it overcomes the downward force of gravity, and it lifts up so that it's building up lots of pressure. The air is hitting the wing here, and it creates like a centripetal acceleration here. It gets really fast and it creates high pressure here, and the high velocity, it decreases the pressure here but increases the pressure this way. So decrease in pressure and high pressure here. I know I'm going a bit technical, but I'm just trying to show you. The red is kind of almost like drag, and then it basically lifts the aircraft up with the help, of course, of the ailerons, etc., and all that kind of stuff. But that lift of the nose as well helps it just push up. Hence why bullets just don't start lifting, because their bullets are actually just basically round like that. They're rounded, they're not flat on the bottom. If they did, they'll just go straight up. So it's basically an increase in pressure. Right, what we got here? Anyway, that's just, I do try to make it as basic as possible, by the way. I'm not like, I don't have any physics degrees or anything, so I make it like, you know, quite simple, as simple as I can, and try to explain it in a easier way. I know there's a lot of physics you can write down, a lot of mathematics with that, with all the velocity and the pressure, but not today. Although I do envy those that know all that, but there we go. There's a lot of the original base out here, those pancakes, hard stands. And if you were to go on Google Maps, you'll be able to see all these here. There's another one right there. Again, please be mindful of when you're coming here. This is the safest place to view aircraft. Other places like this is out of bounds. This is the farmer's land, it's private land, so please stay off it. There is a red and white fence here, so please, you will be asked to move if you were to stand there. Where are we? I don't know if I can see it from there. Just about, I think. Yeah, just about over there. Please don't stand there. It's for your own safety as well, and you will interfere with things, and you'll be asked to move on. And I've heard some strong consequences for the repeated offenders. And again, if you are crossing the road to have a little view, please be mindful of the busy road. As you can see, there's lots of, well, as you've seen, there's been lots of lorries, and there are days where they forbid viewing for safety across the road. They keep everyone just in here for safety. All right, so just be mindful. There is a burger van here as well, so good big shout out to the Wave for keeping us fed and watered, breakfast, brunch and lunch. Emma and John, thank you very much. Sometimes we get Bex here helping out. Oi, oi. And yeah, so again, take your little home with you. There are toilets for customers of the Wave. Support them as well. Keep them going, keep them flowing. Right, canopy up, come on. One canopy up. In this line, OMS. Oh, the moon! The moon's out. Oh, yes. Very faint, very faint. Above the blue trailer, sort of. Well, can you see it? Can you see it, yeah? It's very faint. It's not very... yeah, it's cool. Oh, the canopy's been closed again. We had this earlier, didn't we? Maybe they're just doing their checks. Come on, Reds. Love to see you one more time before we finish, if we can. Not sure if they're going to be closing before. So, sadly, we are, of course, subject to, you know, the opening and closing times. But that's the way it is. So, if we have to go, we have to go. So, bear that in mind when coming here. Ginger Bailey, how you doing? Green Shield stamps. Remember those? I remember the Green Shield. I remember co-op stamps. I remember luncheon vouchers. Anyone remember luncheon vouchers? Some people used to get paid with luncheon vouchers. Remember them? Just trying to think. I remember the good old cereals. Used to get little matchbox cars underneath them. You know, in the cereals. They stopped doing that, haven't they? That was a shame. I used to love that. I used to get my, you know, get my Kellogg's cornflakes or whatever, Frosties, and at the bottom of a cereal carton there was a little plane or a car or something, a little truck. Oh mate, oh my god, he's turned. He's turned into the matronator. Oh, is he here? Who knows? That's the sort of car he has, and that colour, that red, like, you know, burgundy red one. Matronator. He even gets to shout out. Love it. Yeah, I don't remember the Green Shield stamps, I'm afraid. I don't remember them. I remember co-op stamps. Yes. Hello. What's this? Oh, what have we got here? It's a lovely, quiet engine. I wasn't expecting that to really jump up here. I was about to just get a few things. Right, meanwhile, back at the Reds. They're clearly going to go up again. could go wrong?
Hey, we alright here now? How we doing round here now? My name's Reggie, part of the regiment. Been here with 2503 regiment here now, looking after the assets here now. Yeah, it's a lovely sky. Good to see these pretty little planes in it here now. I'm off to go and get some chucking. I hear they do good chucking in Lincoln City. I'm gonna get me some chucking here now. Yeah, that's right, just doing me perimeter checks. Looking at these pretty little red planes here now. That's right, watching these pretty little planes, isn't it there now? Yeah. That's right, just got to see what's going on here now.
Ah, you there, you. Regiment, how are you?
Yeah, I'm alright there, Jens. How you doing around here now?
Yes, just spending my last few days here in England. Just making sure it's all good, yeah. Just making sure that it's lovely. Watching the red arrows is very good.
Yeah, they're right, these pretty little red planes in it there now. Hey, listen, do you have any special moves here now?
Well, what do you mean special moves? I know the Klinsmann, the Bundesliga.
Oh, I like that one. That's pretty good. It sounds good, isn't it? So what is Bundesliga? What actually is it? So what do you have it with? Do you have it with rice or chips?
No, you don't have it with rice or chips. It's a federal. It means federal, you know? It's Bundes.
All right, that's pretty good. But do you have any, like, special moves? You know what I mean? No.
What do you mean special moves? I'm intrigued. Talk more, please.
Well, you know, like, basically, if I need backup, I do a special move. You know, there was one Reggie, then there was two.
Ah, you mean backup? I see what you mean. You see, in Germany, we have a special move as well, but I've never tried your special move. What if I was to do a special move, a regiment move?
Well, yeah, I have a special move. Basically, it's forward, back, kick. What if you were to do it? What would happen?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at the beautiful sky. It's very good. So you're saying if I was to do a forward, back kick, something would happen?
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm asking you, innit? No. Got to think like regiment, Jens. Come on, mate, get with it.
Okay, we'll try this special move. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I mean, what could possibly go wrong, innit? I mean, you know, I better stand out of the way of this one.
Okay, everyone,
Achtung!
Excuse me. Stop landing. There's a plane landing. Oh, well, never mind. Forwards, back, kick. Ah, my name is Jens from Germany. Oh my goodness me, I'm Jens from Germany. Hey, shoot against the bitter. I'm shooting against the bitter. I'm Jens. Bundesliga. We both the Klinsmann from Jensland. Yeah.
I'm gonna need backup and a bit of extra tonight. Oh my goodness me, I might have to go large.
Oh, canopy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 canopies up. Oh yeah. Oh, hang on, there's another red here. It's Red Ted. Red Ted, how you doing, mate? Red Ted, you alright? You getting excited? Oh, okay. He's gone. Right, let's get ready. 6 of them. In this light, oh my salmon.
Final.
Oh, cheese. Is that? Oh, I'll leave that one for a minute. That's fine. was good. Oh man. Father Christmas. Father Christmas. Pilots are getting in, I think. Yeah. I think I've seen the pilots get in. Yeah, they're in. Yeah. Yeah, what I'm going to do as soon as they land, or when they finish, it doesn't take long. What I normally do is come out, crack it over them, and just finish it. Yeah, it's just like the leaks coming off. But I don't, you know. I think I've done a TED cam on this. I think it's been catching every single landing. Hang on. Oh! That was good. It's been catching all the landings on here. Ted taught me the TED cam, you know. I might ask them if they're closing, but just in case. Oh, she waited for me to go. I'm going. Hello, ladies, gents, and teddy bears. How we doing? Right, listen. How we doing? Hope we're all good. Listen, unfortunately, they are closing the car park. So, here's the plan. See you soon, wish you well, and thanks for tuning in. But I'm going to go just outside. They said it's okay. I'm just going to go outside and film it from there. So, unfortunately, the car park is closing. So, we're going to need to depart, unfortunately. So, thank you very much, all of you who have tuned in today. And I'll catch up on the Guards marches tomorrow, and I'll do a little recording of it today. All right. So, sorry about that. Last time. See you soon, wish you well, and thank you very much to all our viewers. Thank you, see ya!